Hey everyone, it's Wowous. Today we're looking at Eufloria, which is an indie game. It's available on Steam, and it's $14.99 regular price, although it goes on sale quite a bit. I would probably pick it up during a Steam sale and not pay the full $15 for it. But it's a fun little game, and so let's play the main game, and I'll show you a little bit about how it works. And so the basic thing to know about those messages is they're saying the game is produced in a way that it randomizes the levels each time you play, so you get different experiences each time you play through the single player campaign. Now the way it works is you can see this is kind of like a planet. It's a circle. If you zoom in a little closer, you can see there's this one little seedling that's floating around, and up here is another planet. It's undiscovered. It could have something on it. And so let's send our little seedling over there and see what's up there. And you can see here now that there was nothing on that little orb, and so by our seedling going there, it's now under our control. You can scroll up and see there's another planet. So the same thing, we can send our seedling right up. And there's a bunch of seedlings. They're saying gather 10 on one asteroid, so we'll send them over here, pick up another asteroid. It says select the asteroid with 10 seedlings, and now you can place a Dyson tree. And so here is the Dyson tree. It costs 10 seedlings. If you click it, there's only 9 of them right there. Where's number 10? There's number 10. And you can see, if you zoom in here, you'll see them all get together and they build a tree. And you can see its roots digging right into the middle of the asteroid. And it just basically grows out of that. And now the Dyson tree makes its own seedlings. And so you can basically create an ecosystem of seedlings, and this is the most basic. There's more as we go on, but you can see here that it just basically starts to grow. And so that's the end of the first tutorial, just basically how to plant a tree. Now looking at this one, what you see here is we're now yellow. You have the option to build a Dyson tree. It shows you down at the bottom energy, strength, and speed. And so that is, each asteroid has its own settings. This one has much more speed. This one has more of a balanced approach. And this one you don't know yet. But the seedlings that are made from those trees have those properties. So these seedlings are extremely fast but very weak. These seedlings are very well balanced. And so it's a strategy of which seedlings are the most powerful, which are going to be able to combat the enemies the best. And so we're going to pull these seedlings up here. And you can see there's 2 trees there now, so we can build another tree once we have 10 down here. There are no trees on this one, so we're going to build a tree here, build 2 trees, so that we can really start to expand our army of seedlings. And yeah, basically for each tree that you have built, the seedlings increase at a more rapid rate, kind of like any real-time strategy game. The more kind of barracks you have to pump them out, the faster it's going to go. Up to 8 here. Now, what I like about Eufloria is it's a very relaxing game. It's not too stressful until kind of the later levels, but there's this nice kind of ramp up. So it's something that if you're looking to relax, if you're looking, you've had a stressful day and you're looking to kind of chill out a bit, it's very kind of relaxing and soothing. The art style is really beautiful. You can get very close up to these seedlings, and you can see kind of how the tree roots go right into the center of the asteroid, and it is very organic, I would say. And that's something that I really appreciate about the game, is it definitely has a different feel to it than a lot of games out there. Build a third tree here. And so now both of these have the maximum number of trees. They both are able to have 3. When you get into later levels, the different sized asteroids can hold different amounts. Some can hold up to like 5, some can only hold 1 or 2. So it really adds a layer of strategy to the game. And so we're going to move all these up. And the way the controls work is you can actually, so you can move like this and say, this is saying I want to send all of my seedlings from one to another. But you can also use this radius to select the number of seedlings you want to send. So this is send, you know, 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, 4/3, or, well, you know, it keeps increasing as they go up. But this is what basically out of the 8 seedlings, how many do I want to send? So I can say I want to send 5 here. And so that's a very unique control scheme, and I think it's a very clever one, because it makes, especially when you have a large number, you know, if you only want to send like, oh, I want to send 15 or 14 there, it's much easier to do so than to send the whole freaking army of them. And you definitely don't want to send a whole army of them into an unknown territory, because you could be walking into a huge enemy base, which would just be a massive problem. But now I can see this is empty, so I'm going to just start shuffling them up. And it says basically there, it's talking about the 3 different. Here you can see this is a very good asteroid, because the energy and the speed are very high. The strength isn't great, but it makes for very interesting little seedlings. And you can actually tell the difference of the seedlings. The 3 parts of it represent the energy, the strength, and the speed. And so you can see that some of them are smaller than others, and those are from the sort of weaker asteroid. So what's really cool about it is you can kind of visually tell which asteroid they're from. I mean, it's a little bit harder as you get more and more, because they're going to look more and more alike. But you can actually, if you look up close at them, you can actually tell which ones are from which asteroid based on their statistics. And so yeah, it's like a very clever game. It's almost, you know, I was just thinking it's almost like something that Spore should have done more naturally. And Spore was just a terrible game if you've played it, and it just didn't do anything with sort of evolution or that sort of thing right. And so the key here in a map like this is just to kind of keep transferring up the seedlings from one planet to the next. And here's yet another planet that we're gonna build 3 trees on immediately. You can see the faster ones get there much faster. They're traveling way, way faster than our slower guys. And yet another planet to build some trees on. And there we go, we've passed the second mission. And so let's play through the third mission here, just to get a little bit more variety in the gameplay. So here we have 2 trees, we have 30 seedlings, so we'll build 2 more. Here we have 17, so we'll build 1. Let's take a look here. So what I like to do is send just 1 to see what's at the next asteroid here. And there's nothing there, so that's okay to start to expand. What I usually do is I usually keep like a home base, which is usually the furthest asteroid. So this asteroid right here is the furthest, and that has 4, so that's doing the most output. And then, you know, put 1 here, and then we'll start to expand this one a little bit more. Oh, and there comes some enemies. Now you can see this is what happens when enemy units or enemy seedlings come flying in, is they kind of shoot these little lasers at each other and engage in little skirmishes. And so we're going to send as many seedlings here as we can. We've been able to take that off, but you can see they have enemies have 6 there, and so we have to be careful about how many seedlings we have building trees in this further out one, just because it could be attacked by these 6. You don't want to leave only like 1 there, because once they get through that 1, they're going to start attacking those trees, and if they knock out the trees, you're going to be in trouble. Okay, so we have 12, and they have 7 in a tree. So I want to get up to about maybe 20 here and see if we can invade. That should just about do it. Get this 2 there. Alright, so we're going to send our 20 in and take a look at this battle. And there we go. You can see the different, some are way faster, some are a little bit slower, but a little bit more powerful, and they're going to try to take these out. And you have no real control over that. It's just basically, you tell the swarms where to go. Now, they're counterattacking, and I only have 5 there, and there's 6 enemies now invading that. So I'm going to start sending my backups there. Now they're retreating because they see that I'm sending more folks there, and they're in trouble because they only have 3. And now you can see my seedlings, once they've destroyed their Dyson tree, they start going up the route and attacking. And then once enough of them go in there, it takes over the planet for you. And now that tree becomes your tree. It grows a new tree right out there, so you don't even have to build a tree there. So all in all, and let's see this. Let's see, we're gonna build 2 there. So yeah, you can see that it really has an interesting strategy where you don't have full control, and there's a few space games that are like that as well, where you don't have control over each. I think AI War and a few of those type of games, you don't have control over each individual unit. You can't say like, oh, attack the tree instead of attacking the units. Like, they're going to do what they do, and you just kind of have to do the macro controlling of it, where you control where the units go, and you can't control, what specifically they attack, but you have a pretty good idea. They're going to attack the units first, and then attack the trees once they've knocked out those. So we're going to send 1 guy to the next one to see if we have more enemies here. And we do, and it's quite a big one. There's 14 enemies there. Let's see if we can get him out of there. Didn't seem to be that successful. But what we're going to do is just keep moving along these folks. There's 10, so we can build another tree there. And just try to build up my army here. It's 30 something, build another tree there. And so yeah, it's a game of managing your resources with the seedlings and deciding when is it a good time to build that tree, when is it maybe you need to wait a little bit so you don't have no army because all your seedlings are now Dyson trees. And the longer you wait, the more of the Dyson trees are going to produce, and especially these ones with like 4 trees, they're going to be producing units at a very fast rate and able to resupply your army very quickly. And so now we're up to almost 40 here, so I'm going to build the last 2 trees here. Last tree there. And so now we're outputting at basically maximum capacity for each of these different asteroids. Let's see, we have an army of 18 here with 1 tree and 23. So probably if we get about 30, we could start an invasion and see. And let's see how their units are. The units are very, pretty strong. Ours are a little bit faster in some cases, but they have a pretty good mixture right here of their abilities. And so they're a little bit tougher to take out than that last group. Alright, so we've got now over 40. We're getting close to 50 seedlings in orbit here. So let's try to invade, and there's 31. So let's see how this goes. And you can see here, this outer circle shows you kind of how far your units, your seedlings can go. So units can actually go directly from this asteroid to the enemy asteroid because it's just in range, and you can kind of bypass this outer orbit. But in a lot of cases, you need to keep control of these sort of borderline ones like this. You know, you can see they could jump over one here, but in many cases only one asteroid can reach another asteroid, and so you need to keep these kind of choke points. And this one is like a great one because it can actually touch 4 from here. And also, it also depends on the size of the asteroid. Some of the larger asteroids have larger ranges, some of the smaller ones have smaller. So sometimes one asteroid can reach another, but you can't get back because that asteroid doesn't have sort of the slingshot ability to get everyone there. So let's start sending as many folks as possible this way, try to take over some more. And you can see it really starts to build up your seedlings sort of in the back here. And these first couple levels are definitely almost tutorial-like, so it gets much more challenging as the game goes on. And you'll see in the upper levels, these maps are very, very challenging. You have to decide what to do. You are oftentimes being attacked kind of from multiple sides. You can barely get trees up, and so it becomes more and more of a challenge as the game goes on. And the game offers a lot of different levels. So let's start expanding down here and taking a look. Let's see, build some trees here. Let's take 73 of them and try to invade the next planet. And there's only 4 there, so they're not gonna last very long. That one little guy just will not go down. Come on. There we go. Take him out. Finally. So this is ours, and if there isn't any Dyson tree on the planet, you can't really take it over until someone builds a Dyson tree. You can see it kind of loops kind of weirdly around. Again, I think the art design, the graphics here are just very, very beautiful. It's very different than almost any other game out there. We'll build up our trees, get the maximum number of trees there. Let's try to take over this last asteroid here. And so that's the end of level number 3. So that's it for today's Let's Play with Eufloria. Again, it's available on Steam. It's about $15. I'd recommend picking it up at a cheaper price. I'd say it's worth probably $5 or somewhere around there. And I think that's what I got it for. So yeah, what I would recommend is if you like the video, if you're interested in seeing more, feel free to like the video, feel free to leave a comment, or feel free to subscribe to the channel. And I'll probably put out some more Eufloria because it is a favorite game of mine in the near future. Alright, thanks.